What's the first thing you liked about me?
I thought that you were quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person.
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do that!
When someone dies,
a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead.
but sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right.
You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her.
I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them.
And killed you.
Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger.
It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
Oh, hello.
What the fuck?
Sorry, I just love coming back from the trailer and seeing this is one just for the video, but seeing your faces of intense disinterest, like powerful, palpable
I have to say,
disinterest.
I've never even seen the trailer until that moment.
Congratulations.
And seeing someone have their head blown clean off in a trailer is something new.
Yeah, sorry, I probably should have warned you that was going to be the Red Band trailer, the really, really Red Band trailer. My apologies.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not either. Anyway, what are we talking about tonight, folks? What's going on? How is everyone? Hi, Jill. Hi, Quinny. Hi, Peter. You're not here because you don't enjoy The Crow, and you know. To be fair,
Does anybody really enjoy The Crow?
yes,
Some of us did.
Yes,
My
because
word, we did.
because the 1994 Crow, directed by Alex Proyas and starring Brandon Lee, and based on the adaptation of the James O. biographic novel called The Crow, is what I really want to talk about tonight.
Yes.
That is the film I
100%.
want to discuss. That has a lot of style. It has a really cool soundtrack. It sort of captures a 90s-esque gothic attitude that you want to be, all that kind of thing.
I do want to just find out, Tari wants to go and read about her favorite Star Wars Crow fanfic. And if that's a slash fic that I've never heard of, but I'm all down for it.
Please tell me what
Unless
the pairing is, Taria.
Unless the crow in the Star Wars one is the moldy crow, and there you go, that's a Starship reference.
Oh,
For
Jesus,
Star Wars
dude.
fans.
Where's that gonk? Where's that
Gonk
gonk?
away. You can't gonk me. I've been gonked hard by the 2024 crow.
So welcome to the periodic table of awesome, everybody. Yes.
I'm
Um,
writing it
this-
all straight away.
we are hard at it, and we are checking out the 2024 reimagining, rebooting, re-digging up the fetid dead corpse of the Crow.
Reanimated. There we go.
Yes. The thing that I enjoyed the most about this is yesterday when I was talking to you, Dion, you spent like 10 minutes or something like that just going through the Wikipedia article of the production, the development hell of this version of The Crow. Yes.
I mean, that's interesting. There's something we could come back to later, but but I'm not going to spend any time on it. Not when people remake this Crow as this thing that has been birthed from all of the worst ideas of everyone pushed together into this shithouse film.
Like I thought at the beginning of the year or early in the year that Madam Web was going to be the low point. And then
I know, right?
Borderlands came on in.
Did we push Madam Web this year?
Yes.
Madam Web was amazing because it was absolutely terrible, but also the apathy leached out of the actors on screen. Like it gave us something fun to do during the press for it, because you're just watching people going, "Yeah, I'm in this film. I don't fucking care. I've got a career."
The backtrack so hard from any press after that movie was incredible.
It was very impressive.
And then watching fucking Borderlands come out and going, "This is just made by people who don't give a shit."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A whole bunch of people who are like, we don't care.
I did see an interesting theory, though. It was like this film was released to drive people back to play the games because the games are actually better. And the one comparison everyone said was, this movie is abysmal. It's awful. It doesn't get anything like the games. The games are really fun. You should play them. And everyone has gone back to playing the games. And I was like, that's an interesting sort of thing.
Yeah. And that being the case, maybe this is a fantastic marketing tool for shooting us back to 1994 and rewatching a good film.
Yes. The only thing this one succeeds is being exactly like fucking Twisters. It made me want to go and watch The Crow.
Yes. Absolutely.
All this did. It just went, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go and watch The Crow again instead of this thing.
The big question is, how many of the Crows have we engaged with? So, Jill? None.
None.
Excellent. A big zero. Good. Have you ever read any of it or anything like that?
I was literally 10 years old when The Crow came out, so a little bit young to be watching goth edgelord romance movies.
Hey, I'll take that as a personal attack. And yet, accurate. Okay, Dion, where are you at? What's your Crow score?
My Crow score. Actually, I found out I vastly undercrowed myself on this. Thank you, Quinny, on this one, because I was like, oh no, I know all of the Crow media. I've seen all of them, and you literally told me of 2 ones I missed, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
2 more? This is like Highlander style things. It's like, they say there can be only 1. No, there's like 7. What?
Yep. And a TV series.
No, I saw the first one, the first Crow, and then I watched City of Angels, which is weird and bad and has Iggy Pop in it, and it's disturbing. Yes, yep. I know, right?
Iggy Pop.
And then I knew that there was The Crow Stairway to Heaven with Mark Dacascos. And that is
your favorite.
Exactly. Crying Freeman, hello. But then, I totally missed that there was The Crow Salvation and The Crow Wicked Prayer.
That's right.
And one of
them starring Edward fucking Furlong. Had to do something after Terminator 2, didn't he?
Yes. And there was, and this is great, in the late 1990s, there was also some pre-production work done on a film called The Crow 2037, and it would have been directed by Rob Zombie.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
All of this pales in comparison to this thing, which is The Crow 2024.
Do you want to know what it's about?
No one needs to.
Really?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is something that's actually dangerous and sacrilegious. I'm going to use a piece of music and some visuals from the original Crow from 1994 to underscore the synopsis. And in this synopsis, I'd like to see if, Dion, I know that you know the story. See if you can tell whether or not this is written about the new one or the old one. Okay, here we go. Soulmates Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric Draven returns to seek bloody revenge against the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put things right. That's essentially The Crow. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And that music is The Cure. Yeah. And it's
amazing.
It's some classic shit.
Yeah. It's some
For us
classically good
90s edgelords.
90s edgelords.
May
are
or
cool.
may not have worn a long coat.
Like, you stop hanging shit on me. I know that we looked weird when we were doing it, but like we got through the time, and this was just a film, but like in the 90s that everyone was like, yeah, this is fucking amazing. It's really dark and everything, and also terrifying because like Brandon Lee had died, and there was a whole thing about it. But you know, hey, we got out there, and the film was really fucking good.
Yeah. And I don't know whether is the film actually even that good, or was the mystique of the fact that that he died whilst making it, and therefore there was this whole curse thing that went with it. You know, there was a mystery around it.
Come on, fire it up, like fire it up. Like if you can quote this and you remember stuff from it, and you're immediately drawn to it because there were cool set pieces. There were like interesting fights. It had a really nice aesthetic, or it connected with you in some way. I can understand. It's not for everyone. It's fine. Like it doesn't have to be for everyone. That's all right. But I still quote lines from it. I can still talk about bits that happened in it. There's some amazing supporting cast in it. There's some absolute fucking clanging dialogue that sucks bollocks. There's some stupid things that are going on, but you also really give a shit about some of the characters.
Yeah, and it's all pinged around a fringing.
Sorry?
And it's all pinged around a fringing.
Oh, yeah. The ultimate fridging, the immediate fridging, the entire narrative is the fridge. Like, it's just in the fridge. But you knew that going into it because the comic book graphic novel is just a fridging machine too. But that's what the 90s was. Or late 80s.
Well, to take a little moment out of that, the comic book was written because the guy writing it, his partner died, and it was his way of dealing with her death. I don't think she was actually brutally attacked or anything, but it was just him going.
Not.
Well, yeah, but it was him going, I need to deal with all of this anger and stuff like that. So he just drew it and wrote it, and it's poetic. Like it's half of it's poetry, half of it's painted, some of it is dance. Like the book itself is a really bizarre and beautiful like tone poem that he's trying to say something with. Yeah. And that's why the film works, because it's attempting to be a tonal piece. Okay. Whereas this, fuck me.
Have they missed the point with this one?
Yeah. Oh, so
over there.
So fucking spectacularly. Like, I mean, it's a pretty easy no-brainer. It's like, you know, two people in love. One guy is Eric. He's a musician. He's kind of like the cool goth lead singer. He absolutely loves his fiance. Terrible things happen to her, and he gets to come back and exact revenge due to mystical power of love lets you murder people. Shit. I mean, yeah. It's a story as old as time.
Yeah.
You know. But it's stylistic and kind of and beautiful in that very shallow way.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of 17-year-olds right now that are feeling the exact same way.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is going to be the movie for them.
Oh God, no! I hope
Oh,
not.
no. I just remembered that one part in the new one. So, like in the new film, they're literally at one point after they've decided, and let me just say, they've just decided that there are now soulmates. That's the two lead characters.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. Fucker Twigs and
It's FKA.
FYI, it's FKA.
Yeah.
You just start calling. No, that's my alter ego, Fucker Twigs, because in it she's a fucker. They're standing on a bridge and they're discussing about, like, you know, she's like, if I threw myself in there, would you dive in after me? And then they were like, and one of the lines of dialogues is, you know, do you think that a bunch of angsty teenagers will make shrines to us, like if they committed suicide?
Yeah,
and I'm
They
like,
knew exactly what they were doing.
no, but
Oh yeah, they were actually taking a pot shot at the original. That's the thing that fucked me off about it. That was them taking a pot shot at the original film and going, "Oh, isn't it funny that people found this stuff so meaningful? Fuck them."
Isn't it funny that the audience connected with this idea? We're going to do everything we can to shit on the audience, and that's not even half the terrible.
If I was a worm, would you still love me?
Yeah, pretty much. 100%. It was 100% that vibe, and you know, like FKA Twigs is a great artist, and she's like a lovely singer and musician and performer. In this, her character motivations and all of her ideas and her slightly weird looking kind of, like, she's hot but freaky, you know. This doesn't connect because, you know, there is no redeemable quality for Eric Draven and there's no redeemable quality for FKA Twigs. So there's no reason that you
So they have bad personalities, is what you're saying.
The rich kids of Instagram.
Yeah.
Like they like, this is something that Dion said to me after he'd watched it, and I was like, oh, okay. They are literally, like, at one point in time, the reason they meet is because they've gone into rehab. And it's an extraordinarily expensive rehab place.
And it's cult rehab that reminded me of the scenes. Do you remember The Master, the film The Master, which was about Scientology?
Not really.
Okay. No,
I've never seen it. So.
Okay. There's a film called The Master. It stars Joaquin Phoenix and I've forgotten his name. The guy from he's a really good actor. Shit, it'll come to me. Oh, someone will correct me in the chat. It's fine.
Absolutely,
100%. Yes, thank you. See, I didn't even have to think about it. Didn't have to look to the side. Someone will do that. Who they're doing Scientology, and they kind of go through all the breakdowns of the way that cult breaks people down in order to adopt them into the cult. And this is the exact same thing. So they're basically doing Scientology cult breakdown of people, but it's rehab, but it's a super fancy rehab that they can all seem to afford. They don't have jobs. We don't know how they make their income, but they're all living poor and they're happy to totally fiddy out their $1 billion apartments.
Okay.
And it's just like
they're privileged kids living a fantasy.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is like, if there's one song that should be in a soundtrack, it is Common People.
Yes.
Yeah, like we should have so been there, because like after they run away from rehab, they go to their friend's $1 billion mansion who's not there for half the year, and they just hang out and bang a lot and do a lot of drugs again. And you're like, and find their stash of thousands of dollars.
This is the thing that I also can't understand. This film is here. It's going, look at these people. They're both kind of dropouts. They met in rehab, you know, and they weren't broken. They just needed someone to understand each other, you know. And then they bust out of rehab. And what is the first thing that these soulmates do is get drunk and high as fuck, and then spend like a weekend connecting with each other and becoming soulmates. And I am like, this is terrible.
That sounds quite toxic.
Terrible.
Oh yeah. And then all the bad stuff catches up, and the whole thing. So we haven't even talked about the bad guy yet. So in the original, the whole thing was that it was a bunch of gangbangers who literally just happened to find them and So Eric would go through and find each of them and exact his revenge. In this one, I think it's meant to be the devil.
Who the fuck knows?
Like,
it's never explained who this
is he a vampire? Is he a devil? I don't know, but he can whisper in people's ears, and then they'll do evil things, and their eyes will go white.
Okay.
Terrifying. Danny Houston.
Well, it's that old white dude from the trailer, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a fun fact: the Houston name comes up later when we talk about the people who were attached to this project. The many people that were attached to this project. They
kill
unlike the
them.
original.
Oh,
you go, sorry, Quinny.
No, I was just continuing through the plot. Bad guys kill them. They go to hell, something in between, don't know. And
they even mention it. Come on, he goes to this weird like hell purgatory place, and it's an old rail yard that's abandoned. And even the guy in there that's waiting for him, that is kind of like the station master but gothic, actually goes, "Yeah, you think they'd come up with something more original, right?" And you're like,
"Yes,
yeah." Like, dialogue in this film.
And but also, who is that guy? Why is he there? What's his purpose other than to be cryptic and European? We don't know. He has a weird accent and then quotes the line from the first Crow multiple times.
And what line is that, Quinny? Because
it was in the trailer. That some people say that when a soul can't go to heaven or whatever, a crow comes to take them, and if there's something has happened that's been so bad, I can't remember fucking what it is.
Yeah.
Have you got it kicking around anywhere?
Perfect. That's poetic. Love it.
Yeah. But in the first one,
like, there's a crow turns up and it fucking I can't remember.
He sounded like the bad guy out of Madam Web. Like, I just didn't know what he was. Just a bearded guy with a European accent who said the line badly and then kept on throwing him into puddles. Like, it was like, get in a puddle. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Doing that in what was the Christopher Nolan one where they had to like dunk them into water. Time was the worst memory to
Inception.
Yeah. The only way to get out of that purgatory place is to be inceptioned. You have to fall into water and then you wake up and go, oh no, I'm back to the real world. It's just, it's bad. It misses every single point that it could have made. It does nothing new. It tries to redeem itself in the last act by going ultra violent.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like all of the violence in this thing, and its super violence is like in the last 15 minutes. And you're kind of like, you've gotten to yourself where nothing about this is good. So you're just going to go hyper violent. And even then it's dumb violence. It's not smart violence. It's just fucking, we can do this because we can.
There's no kind of, beauty to it. There's no dance or kind of flair or anything. It's just a guy getting shot a lot and then chopping people in half with samurai swords. But because
oh no, the magic word samurai sword.
Yeah,
I love it when
100%.
White men have samurai swords.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's just utterly cringe.
And where fucking the original Crow came in 1994 had a fucking banger soundtrack that was just there to enhance it all. It had The Cure, it had Stone Temple Pilots, and Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Violet Femmes, Roland's Band, Helmet, like Pantera, a bunch of just that music of the time.
Goth rock.
The musical choices in this are fucking dumb. Like, how can you have that as a template and then put fucking Enya on the soundtrack?
What?
Yes. Enya.
There are moments
and the song
where like a character walks out and there's a really long sequence.
It's just
sail away.
It's none of those. No, it's none of those. It's kind of like a little score, which could have worked at the end or something, or like a funeral scene or something. Sure. But none of the music matches to kind of the stuff that you're watching. Like the song that shat me the most, Quinny, is when they're escaping rehab and the tonal shift. The band is fine, but
Mhm.
it sounds like a Benny Hill escape theme. And you're kind of listening to it going, what is that? And this is a surprisingly easy rehab to get out of, because you've got an ankle monitor and all you need to do is just cut it off and then you can run out, and then
Nobody follows you.
That's not how
No
they
one-
work.
exactly.
Otherwise, everyone would be doing it.
Everyone would just do it. The thing that got me, there was a moment musically that really bugged. Like I was waiting to see, because you'd said that there was one song that you really hated. There was another one where it takes a long time for him to even get around to putting on the makeup. Like it's most of the movie before he's put on the Crow makeup. So you kind of like, what are we doing here? At one point, he just goes walking. He leaves a place after he's gotten a tattoo, I think. And there's a 3-minute long walking sequence where he's just walking past people who are homeless or whatever. And it's all slow-mo. He's not going anywhere. He's got no particular place that he's trying to be. It's just music and him walking. And it's the most annoyingly asinine fucking thing I have seen in so many years. Because it was like, the movie isn't as cool as it thinks it is, but the music is not as good as it wants to be. It's just fucking dire.
I mean, and we all know that, like, at the moment, the youths love a shit haircut and a fucked tattoo. Like, that's kind of
he is an Eshe Crow. There is no two ways about it. He is an Eshe.
He's also not the Eshe Crow, because the Eshe Crow would be like, fuck you, bro, I'll fucking nut you, and like go for a fight. This one, for 90% of the movie, he's like, no, I'm tiny and weak and I just have the heart of a poet and I just have a bunch of shit tattoos and a rippling six-pack that
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
No person who does that much drugs and alcohol and everything like that,
Oh, crackheads are ripped.
Yeah, ripped crackhead.
He definitely does have ripped crackhead vibe.
But I mean, it's just like the whole sort of thing is when he goes and he gets tattoos, or they both get tattoos. I love the fact that they just go to their mate's house and he does the tattoos. Also,
cool.
you're never introduced to
That's
that
right.
character
No.
by name.
No.
You never
He's
introduced
just
like
there.
character by name. He's there and he just serves to die later because whatever. But
At
also,
one point, they go to the water. They go to the like what looks like Martha's Vineyard or somewhere, like some beautiful place. And suddenly these two, misfits who have never fit in with anyone else suddenly have a bunch of friends that they hang out with and go to the park and go swimming with. And it's like, what? Who the fuck are these people? You've never introduced them before, but okay.
Just them hanging out with friends or
Oh,
going.
and there's. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, and then going clubbing, and you're like, wait, how did you all end up clubbing?
Yeah. Aren't you
Jesus.
meant to be on the run or something? But also, like, there's so many moments where characters do things that you're just like, why are you doing that now? I don't understand where these characters are coming from. There's an entire plot line that is essentially the thing that's meant to be keeping it all going, about a video taken on a phone of the bad guy, demon devil guy, doing something evil, and it turns out that it's some like Shelley who's doing the evil thing, and it's like, honestly, it's the least sensical fucking plot, and it was like, it felt like that whole thing of a video of somebody doing something bad, like from the Fall Guy, but not funny or interesting. It was just like, oh, this is the thing that we have to keep following. But at the same time, we've just got to do the Crow thing. Just say a few lines, put on the makeup. There's no particularly good reason why you need the makeup. Wear a long coat, walk around. A CGI bird's going to fly by you a few times.
I mean, okay, the most offensive thing, and I really don't give a shit about spoilers in this, because like balls out.
I'm sorry,
Do not go and see The Crow. Like,
no,
it is
Do
such a waste of time. It, like, even morbid curiosity, you think, ha ha ha, and I was like, no. Like, if you even like anything like this, no, just don't. Wait till it catches your mind, like passing by on a streaming channel or a free-to-air TV free one day, and you're like, I wonder
Wait
what
till
this
it's on the $1 weekly shelf at the video shop.
Exactly.
And then apologize to your family.
There is literally a Mighty Morphin Crowan time moment in it where he has to. Yeah, it's like when he finally accepts the power that he has been given, and a crow, like in that purgatory place, a fucking black crow flies into him to imbue him with the powers of the crow. And that's when his makeup actually bleeds out of his eyes, and that's when he really becomes the crow. I mean,
but it doesn't. The makeup bleeds out of his eyes, but it's not even the proper makeup. He still has to go back to the normal thing and then do his own makeup again.
Yeah. And instead of dressing up like a dark Halloween character come for revenge, because, by the way, all the people that killed them, like, those people aren't even interesting characters. In the original one in 1994, like, each of the gang members had like a trait that you would remember, and like, one's the fuck up, one's crazy, one's a heroin addict. Like, you got that, and he tracks them down and he murders them all one by one, and that's how they kind of get scared. Fine. But in this one, he's like, wasn't the picture of a guy in the trailer sitting in the car going, "We killed you," and it's like, I don't know who that guy is. No one gives a shit about who that guy is.
And literally the line is, "We killed you," and you went, "Yep." And then kills him, and that's it. Yep. That's
yeah. It's like, how badly could you just veer away from this? Like, I don't care if it's a reimagining. It doesn't even follow the same plot. It adds mystical elements it didn't need to be. Like, and you had reminded me, Quinny, that one of the fun and interesting things about the original Crow was that there is always a moment within there that you think maybe the crow isn't a mystical power. Maybe it's just someone who is fucking high on ice and has forgotten pain. So when they try to shoot him and he keeps getting back up, it's just because he's drugged up. And he's a superhero, but he's not. He's just on meth. That's kind of one of the tenets of this, because he dies and he dies and then he comes back to life, and then he's impervious to harm, but he's not. He still feels pain, and it's kind of like
in the comic, it's actually really uncertain, because you see injecting morphine into himself constantly throughout the whole thing, and it's this whole concept of maybe he's not actually undead at all. He's just like completely out of his head on pain meds.
And there's even a bit where he gets hurt and he wraps himself in like gaff tape. Basically, gives himself a gaff tape corset, and that became one of the cool kind of looks of this. And it's like, maybe he's just fucking a meth head who has stitched himself up, and that's why he's not mystical at all.
See, he is the Jack Crackhead.
He is Jack Kraken. There's so many aspects of it, and in this one, if you are really worried about spoilers, I will put the spoiler section, because I'm going to talk about the very end of the film right now. And I apologize. Okay, I'm going to talk about it because the thing that made me probably the most angry, you get to the end and it's all a dream. Like...
Oh my God, like every creative writing story that we did in year 7 was, and it was a dream. And then I woke up.
Basically, the whole film happens in between them being killed and him dying. And the whole is just like, you didn't just do that.
What?
This crow is
a
fuck up. Like, it's
astonishing.
It's an astonishing fuck up. And like, as I said, not even the hyper violence at the end can redeem it. No one really knows what they're doing. Shout out to fucking Bill Skarsgård, because I mean, he's taken all of the money he's got from the stuff he's been doing and just done crunches. He's got one of those. So, I fully look at that and go, yeah, he's the non-threatening goth guy that is peculiarly hot, but also just like too meek to actually have any much of it. There's no threat. So I think out there, a lot of women are going to be like, yeah, I went and watched The Crow because I like the plot. It's like, not, it's fine. You can watch Bill Skarsgård and go like, I want him to crow me, fine.
Call.
But yeah, the rest of it is just.
It also makes no sense at all, because like in that milliseconds between life and death, apparently he's also killed all these other people. So if the ending is that this is all happening between him alive and dead, and in the end he gives himself up so that she can live, technically all of the bad guys are still alive. And
yeah,
like, but it makes no sense. It's utterly stupid. Yes, look at those bots coming on in. Thank you.
Yeah. We must have said the magic word.
I don't know what the magic word is, but I'm very sorry.
I absolutely understand. Like the people involved with this, in every single person involved with this has just tried to back out of it. Like, and I understand why. And just a quick rundown of from the wiki that this is the thing that threw me when I went and read through, is just the amount of people who were attached to it and then dropped out. Like it was
going back to 2008, I think it is.
Yeah, 2008 when Stephen Norrington was attached to it and actually had Nick Cave on board to write a draft of the script. So, okay, interesting. You know, kind of get one of the people who was on the soundtrack or influenced the soundtrack to write the film. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But, you know, you're talking about like people like Bradley Cooper were attached to play the Crow. You've got Channing Tatum was attached to play the Crow at one point. Ryan Gosling was attached to play the Crow. James McAvoy was attached to play the Crow. This is still like
this is getting worse.
2011, I know. At one point, Bob, the Weinsteins were attached along there at one point. Ridley Scott was attached to it. I know. Ridley Scott was there. But we've also got Tom Hiddleston was in the role to play Eric Draven in 2013. And then Alexander Skarsgård was in talks around that time. And then it was Luke Evans was going to play the Crow.
Quite a while.
Ooh, yucky.
And then it was Norman Reedus was going to play the Crow, and Kristen Stewart was going to play Shelley.
I would pay money to watch that version.
Wait, it gets even like hinkier as you get further on into that. But like as you where have we gotten first now? Then Jack Houston, who is the son of Danny Houston, who is actually in this.
Okay.
Like Danny Houston is the evil guy in this, but his son was going to be there. Forrest Whitaker was going to be in there at one stage. I know Nicholas Hoult was going to be the Crow, and Jack O'Connell. And this is still like 2016, right?
Wow, 8 years away from actually being made.
Then Jason Momoa did a selfie, exactly, of him and the director saying this is going to be the new Crow, and we're going to call it the Crow Reborn.
No.
And he stuck around for a very long time. He was in the running for about 5-6 years at least.
Wow.
And then eventually it all sort of like went into more development hell, and then it was Bill Skarsgård. So hilariously, Danny Houston is in it as the evil guy. His son was going to be the Crow, but that's not going to happen. And then, Alexander Skarsgård gave it to his little brother Bill, kind of thing. But the really funny thing is the eventual director, which is Rupert Sanders, who did do this one, it eventually directed it. But you see, back when they were talking about getting Kristen Stewart on, because Kristen Stewart and Rupert Sanders were the two that hooked up during Snow White and the Huntsman and broke up Rupert Sanders' marriage. And then Kristen Stewart became gay. So it's just this whole hodgepodge.
I love it.
It's like
there's tea just pouring everywhere.
Yeah, it's just fucking this, Venn diagram of crossover weirdness. And all the while, I think James O'Barr's just like, fuck, I don't give a shit anymore, man. Like, just do whatever you want. I don't care.
Well,
Send me my check and let me fuck off.
Apparently, early on in the process, he said that this was the one that was the most in line with what he wanted. I notice he has gone definitively quiet of late.
I mean, maybe back when he was directly involved at the start in 2011, it might have been. Oh no,
this was until like a few months ago. He's saying that this is the one that he thought was the most like what he wanted, and I'm like, is it though?
I hope not.
Anyway.
I've actually talked about this more than I thought I would. I'd just be like, it's fucking shit, stay away. But no, it made me so angry. And it made me angry because Borderlands is just a piece of shit. This one seems like they either hate the audience or they're trying to get it made or they don't understand anything. And they've tried to make something they think is cool and it's fucking not.
Yeah.
The epitome of uncool.
Yes, it is. It is aggressively shit, and it's like, and I am really enjoying the fact that Alex Proyas is going at it like a fucking dog with a bone. He's just like, "Fuck you for making a shit film. How dare you, fucking yeah."
You know what, Alex? I would just sit back and be like, "Fuck it, come back and watch my version. This will drive you back to mine, and I'll be standing here with open arms going, 'Come to me, children. Come to me, you dark gothic children. I will hug you.'"
I loved it because back when I was doing In the House, I actually got to watch The Crow on a big screen. I never got to see it because in Tasmania in 1994, it didn't make the cinemas. And so I finally got to see it on a big screen, and it's still fucking great, and I love it. But, yeah. Times have moved on. Do you have a number for it, D? Just so we can put a number on the thing. I can't rate it that.
10.
Oh,
10 out of 100. If you were to push me, I'd go 15 because it was all in focus. That's how much I can.
Yeah,
it gave. If I had to rate it for the amount of effort that went into it, and the people that it employed that actually let it happen, great. 90 out of 100 because I'm happy that people got work out of it. But holy shit. People had to do this, and I swear there must have been a bunch of VFX people going, "Okay, we've done what you asked for. We feel dirty though. Don't understand it. I hope this comes together in the edit."
It's just fucking dire. It's a 7 from me. I actually fucking hated it with so much vitriol.
I did 10, you've 7. You just underscored me by 3. Where did you lose where did it lose the extra 3 points? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Well, I'm not sure, Dion. Where did you give it the extra 3 that I didn't? What did you like more than me? Because I
10
really
because it was in focus.
Okay. I guess I wasn't watching that closely, so I wasn't in focus. It's just fucking terrible. Do not watch. And the thing is, I've watched all of the other Crow movies, all of them, and they're terrible. Some of them are utterly abysmal. Like there's one where the bad guy is David Boreanaz and he's menacing Tara Reid. It's fucking awful.
Jill's just like, "What do you mean? You've mentioned Iggy Pop, Tara Reid, David Boreanaz, and Edward Furlong, and you're talking about Crow movies?"
Yes.
But the first one,
and I watched all of Crow Stairway to Heaven. I've been down this path. I know it's terrible, and this is the nadir. This is the absolute anti-peak of Crow. Yeah. So fuck it. Okay. Karina says, "Give us a rating of the Crow movies from best to worst." Best, absolutely number 1. Second best is probably City of Angels. Like honestly, they just go in descending. Like, Crow 2 is okay. Still had a budget. Crow 3, actually no, 3 and 4 are absolutely on par. They're utterly boring. There's one where they try to do it as a Western almost. It's fucking abysmal. Then you get the Stairway to Heaven, the TV series, which I think is about the same as this, to be honest, because it was all shot in Vancouver in the day.
Oh no.
We're shooting day for night.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the time they were just shooting day for day. They couldn't even afford that.
Yeah, it's true. Sepia filter.
But at least Mark Dacascos looked okay in the makeup. But it's not good.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like the Crow films are like the Highlander films. Like you start off with a real good one, and then it just fucking goes down the list as it keeps going.
And much like Highlander, there should have been only one.
Except
okay, we're going to have a little bit of a clip, and we'll come back and talk about other shit that we have been. Just for the record, this clip may be very, very violent. This is one of the bits from the opera. So
yes,
just
the opera where you can't hear gunshot.
vie. Toi, que me dis-tu? Oui, tel est mon sort. Vois-tu l'espoir? Est-ce l'amour qui s'appelle j'attends mon sort à tes genoux?
I just, I love everything about gothness. And how, like, you know, best supporting knife is the samurai sword that he bought from a flea market. That just seems amazing. He must have picked up the Hanzo blade from Kill Bill.
Totally, 100%.
For $20.
Oh, what a shit show.
It feels good to let it out, though.
I feel better now that we've got that out of our system.
It's too much. We can stop talking about that now. We can avoid the crow because you know what? September is an exciting month, and that's why I'm happy about stuff, because we've got so many fun things to do this month, which is what was it? Rings of Power and Terminator anime and Beetlejuice, and what else did I say we had?
Oh God, there's heaps of stuff.
Heaps of other stuff. Oh, Agatha All Along. Transformers 1.
Oh yeah, that's the one I'm very excited for.
You recommended we can finally start talking about that one. And the Penguin. Like, this is what a fucking great month.
Actually, I'm down for the Penguin. We got a little trailer of the new trailer for that. I'm digging it. Come on.
Help me up.
I think it's got an interesting vibe.
I know. I deserve a better life.
Oswald Cobblepot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? I can't get it.
I mean, yeah. The Italianness of Oswald is a question mark.
Story with a happy ending.
It's so bizarre because, like, they have the aliens in the Batman series. They have the Falcones and there's two crime families that are Italian in the Batman universe. I don't know why you gotta make Oswald Cobblepot an Italian. I don't know.
We're in the middle of a gang war.
Yeah, I always liked the idea. I liked the idea of him as something else entirely, like a failed wannabe aristocrat or something like that.
Exactly.
Do you remember? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, no, Kombat is not exactly an Italian surname.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. I just, DeVito is my Penguin.
I like her as Sophia Falcone. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been rehabilitated.
She does crazy real well.
Because there was a really good Sophia Falcone story, and I think it was in Long Halloween.
I think I want Sophia.
And that's like one of my favorite books. So.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah. I'm down for it. I just love that it's got the Kurgan. Clancy fucking Brown. I'm down for that.
Colin Farrell in this is amazing. I mean, I just look at him and
look like him at all.
No, it's just look at him and I'm like, oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Feel alive, Vic? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm down for it. I'll be watching it. Will I miss Batman? Probably not. You know,
What are you gonna do to get it?
I would like for him to be in it, but you know.
Well, how far did you get in Gotham?
Oh, fuck.
With no Batman.
Oh.
Because they didn't wait. They couldn't wait either.
How many episodes of Smallville did you watch without seeing Superman?
10 seasons of
it. I watched all of Gotham, and at the very last episode, you at least saw the kid in the suit, and it was the worst version of the suit I've ever seen. Ever.
Glad I didn't go that far.
You made some good decisions there to not do it.
I
wanted to talk briefly about something that showed up this week, and I thought it was fascinating. So I'm going to have a look at, just very quickly, this trailer.
Nothing will ever go wrong.
Fascinating.
Yeah, but we all know what happens when things look fascinating.
Looks really interesting.
I don't understand.
I'm down
What
for a
is
bit
that
of
about?
Francis Ford Coppola.
I don't understand it.
What, the film?
Nobody knows.
That trailer.
Nobody knows what it's about.
Okay.
I think, like a lot of these films these days, it's hubris. That's what this film is about. It's hubris. It's all the greatest directors of our time who were already big in the 60s, well, big in the 70s because they made blockbusters then, and then, coaxed through the new generation of like the Spielbergs and the Lucases. These are the people they looked up to, the Lucas and the Spielberg looked up to the Coppola and those guys as it's come through, and now they're running straight forward, full face into mortality, and they're trying to have a message out there. They're trying to get something out there. And I'm like, sure, they have the money and the power. They can make whatever the fuck they want. Doesn't mean it's going to be received. Doesn't mean people are actually going to be like, oh, that means something. Yeah, they don't have to. Do you know why? Because they don't have to give a shit. Because they don't have to look for the funding for the next film. They've got enough money.
And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people know what that film's about, because there was a lot of talk that while it was being made, the people making it didn't know what the fuck was going on. And they're like, Francis, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm making a masterpiece. And they're like, yeah, but nobody understands it, dude. What the fuck's going on? So this may be one of those utter vanity projects that somebody does in their late part of their career where they just go, here it is.
You won't get it for 100 years. You won't get it for 100 years. Then it'll make sense. You're like, okay, fine. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
I mean, what is it like when you don't have any money and you make a film like that? It's called Zen filmmaking, and you release the Rollerblade 7, which does not have 7 rollerbladers in it. But if you have plenty of money,
you're making Metropolis.
Go out there. It's called the Rollerblade 7. Look it up. There are not 7 rollerbladers in it.
Well, it was like that Snow White and the 7 Samurai. There was no 7 Samurai on the cover of that.
No, there are only 5.
I did see that on Binge the other day, and when I was at my parents' place, and Dad's like, should we watch that?
No, Dad. No.
Well, I can't wait to you there, or someone just says to you, Jill's like, oh, we should watch The Crow, and then you can just get flashbacks
how
to this
about we
podcast,
watch
like,
Snow White and the 7 Samurai instead?
I mean, I just wish I was drunk when I watched The Crow. I still haven't seen Aquaman 2. I know, I've got to get into Aquaman 2 as well. We'll get there.
You will get there eventually. What have you been watching though, Jill?
Well, between wrestling, I've been watching heaps of Drag Race.
Yeah.
No, I think just one season of Drag Race, her original season. I thought she might have been in an All Stars, but no. So yeah, this is her second Drag Race, and yeah, she's a fabulous Maori woman that is lives in Australia and is tearing it up over there. We've had 3 episodes so far out in the season, and she's ranking really high, and that's incredible because she's up against powerhouses like the US franchise and the Canadian franchise. So yeah, it's great.
I love that RuPaul's Drag Race is now a franchise.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race has just completed its 16th season.
Jesus.
Not to mention the spin-offs like All Stars, and then you have Canadian Drag Race, and then you have other spin-offs like UK versus the world or Canada versus the world, and there's a infinitesimal amount of Drag Race that you could be watching.
And I know that this sounds weird, and it's like, hey, I'm down for it. Go watch some of that stuff. I mean, I kind of want a time machine so I could go back to like the mid '80s and find some conservative Americana, and just be like, hey, guess what? In 30 years, this is going to happen, and then watch them freak out. I saw one the other day which freaked me out that I kind of like in reality TV, which is Mormon TikTok mums.
What?
Yeah, like Mormon TikTok mums. It's a reality show about a bunch of Mormon mums who are TikToking, who then all get together, and then they start to do all of this, and then they all start becoming basically a polycule, and it just gets real weird while I was watching. Now I'm just in this thing where I'm kind of like, I'm down a rabbit hole of pre-sleep watching, of trying to find more information about Mormon TikTok moms. So yeah, there's my bit of the reality TV.
Do you remember what it's called? Because I'm fascinated now.
Yeah. I think
is it just called Mormon TikTok Mums? Because I want to watch that.
It's called #MumTalk. MOTOK. And then it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's about, they have a soft swinging lifestyle. You can look it up. It's a whole thing these days. But like, if you watch the trailer for the show, and I've seen people doing reaction videos and they just start watching it like, weird. No, but not that weird. And then as they do more weird shit, people's faces just start going, what the fuck? If someone dies at the end of talk, like Mum Talk, I'll be like, great, amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible. I need to find this. I will finish off very quickly with the thing that I finished watching this week. I started it this week. I finished this week. But I realized I've talked about it once.
It's only 2 days into the week, Quinny.
Okay, sorry. Last week I watched most of it over the weekend. Sorry, my bad. I've talked about it, but I haven't actually shown you what it looks like, and I just want to share this one with you because I think it's fucking cool.
Oh, right, the Turtles cartoon.
So this is the one that is based on the CGI film that came out recently.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about it is the art style is still keeping the hand-drawn, scribbly kind of thing, but they've managed to keep it 2D. So it's all of the visual kind of, like the color depth and everything, but with a real kind of scratchy 2D kind of thing, but it's incredibly like vibrant and exciting, and like the characters are really great. And like they do this sort of thing where they split the seasons into following, like each season, half of it is like a Rashomon type thing where you see a story from each of the turtles' perspectives.
Yeah, right.
And it works so well. And I just love the fact that they're kind of picking up from where the movies, picked up, left off. But they've got a bunch of the same cast. So Rose Byrne comes back to be Leatherhead, the alligator.
Yeah.
I thought she was, for a second, thought they were going to be like, oh, April O'Neil. Like, no, she's Leatherhead.
Yeah. And Leatherhead is totally played completely Australian. But the best part about that is... At one point, I was watching it. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is all fine and everything," but she drops the line, "Oh, what in the Glenn McGrath is that?" And I was like, "What?" And
that's an ad lib.
That is 100% an ad lib because nobody outside of Australia knows what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was speaking good Australians on accents and stuff. I went back and I watched Mortal Kombat again. Still not the great.
Kano! Is he fucking Kano?
Fucking Kano.
Hang on, which Mortal Kombat?
No, the newer one that came out a few years ago. Shot in South Australia. And just there was one moment in that I'd forgotten about that was so funny. It was just like when he's sitting in the chair off the side of the screen, he goes, wah, wah. It's like something bad happens to Sonia. I think you just hear off the side, wah, wah. I was like,
Like
yes.
there's all these fucking ad libs about like Harry Potter and shit like that.
Yes. And yeah. Don't try that again. Or, yeah, like Josh Lawson is a good ad libber, and I do enjoy that. But I'm excited that they're also going to be they're making another one. It's shooting on the Gold Coast. Or I think it's finished shooting. It's in post production.
Yeah, it's finished shooting now.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm like, they're not great films. See, this one is an interesting reimagining and still not the best film, but fun. Whereas The Crow is just
I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed this one when it came out.
Fucking piece of shit. like, and the similarities don't end there. They've both got shit tattoos in the shows. Yeah, it's not.
This is a perfectly fine film. It's not great. It does the job.
It's got Hiroyuki Sanada in it.
Yeah,
exactly. And for me, that was enough to make me go, okay, I'm going to give this some time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, all those bits are great. It's just the addition of the new character that you'd seen before in the games turned up, and you're like, "What's this guy? I don't care about him." Oh, his superpower is he can get beaten up a lot. Cool. Fucking Kano.
Here's Kano.
Fucking laser eye. Better than fucking laser bolts. Anyway. Hey,
good fun.
It's good.
And yeah, we will look forward. I think the new there's going to be a trailer for the new one sometime fairly soon.
I hope so. I want to see all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I saw that the new Mortal Kombat game, or the one that came out last year, they've finally put together skins based on the first, like the old 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. So now you can actually have the fight looking like the ninjas from the movie, and it's fucking great. So I'm going to be spending money that I shouldn't buying that game just so that I can do that.
The nostalgia loot box has arrived.
Powerful.
Speaking of nostalgia loot boxes, which is just a shameless cash grab, I've been watching a few reviews of Star Wars Outlaws, the new game that's just
really
very soon. And I got to say, probably not going to spend any money on it.
Oh.
But what was I expecting from EA?
Oh, I was thinking about that.
No, I said, like, you can go out there and have a look for yourself. But it's, people are kind of like, it's the worst. Anyway, look for yourself.
Okay. Cool. I was still kind of hoping it was going to be good. So I'm sorry to hear that it's not.
I have no. You can't hurt me now. Like, you can't hurt me now. I've been through everything. I've had my wishes and dreams raised so high, and they've always been thrown so low. And when I get something that's middling, I'm like, oh, amazing.
Just give me mediocrity, comfortable mediocrity.
Just give me an expectation. Not high, not low.
Well, we have certainly met your middling expectations for this week's show. Next week, God only knows what we're going to be reviewing. It's the beginning of September, so it'll be something. I don't know what yet. Do you?
It's the beginning of September, but we will. Well, it's either going to be the Rings of Power Season 2, Only Murders in the Building Season 4, or Terminator anime. Which one do you think it's going to be? Probably the Terminator anime, because everyone has access to it.
Yeah. And if it's like last year, Rings of Power is going to be coming out week by week, and
won't know because I'll probably switch it off after the first ad comes up for fucking puppy food.
Yeah. Only Murders is week by week as well.
Yeah.
I
better go back and watch season 2.
Oh no, you're well behind. Oh god, guys.
I'm sorry.
And Quinny, you still got all those seasons of Parks and Rec to get through.
You have no idea how much I just want to turn the music on and end the show.
That was always. Are you singing some of the music?
Know that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get that reference.
Thanks for sticking around and listening to us eviscerate The Crow. Go back and watch The Old Crow from 1994. It's a much better film. It's well worth your time.
Do. Like, go and re-educate yourself on that one.
Yeah, Jill.
Right. Pointed.
That'll give you something to crow about.
My finger is on the button. It is on the button.
Please put us out of our misery.
Please. I've been trying. I've been giving you so many openings.
Okay. Call, bang, fuck, I'm gone.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. The powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from iron fists and walls. I'll dap her up and teach her all my songs. I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out adventures assemble.